pests that live in and around this area. All that research is done right over here. You might also notice that we have these pathways that are sort of zigging and zagging their way along the route that we have here. We have more than a quarter mile of all these walkways that are available for people to explore. And the idea is that in about 10 years' time, all of these pathways will be completely shaded over thanks to the trees and bushes we have growing on either side of the street. And most of that shade is indeed going to come from the tree species that we have growing on either side of the road. These are bald cypress and dawn redwood trees. And they don't look like much now, but come back in 1 decade and they'll be so tall and so dense with foliage that they'll completely shade over the road we're driving on right now. Meanwhile, off to the left, you may have noticed these little Quonset huts right in front of this large brick building in our head house. This is our plant production facility. Every year at the garden, we deal with more than 250,000 individual plants, and about 140,000 of them actually end up in our viewing gardens. This place is not open. All of them start their lives right over here. And while this place is not open to the public, if you volunteer with us someday, you might work with our botanists and professional gardeners to figure out where all those 140,000 plants will actually end up in our viewing spaces. And right behind the head house, in that big brick building, we're now passing by a somewhat translucent space right behind it. This is a completely state-of-the-art facility. This is our production greenhouse area. It is more than 55,000 square feet of plant growing space with 28 individual rooms inside. All those 28 individual rooms are uniquely climate controlled by an advanced computer system which is monitoring the conditions in each of those rooms 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You might notice how some of these fans on the side of the building are blowing and others are not. That is the computer system automatically determining that the heat and humidity inside those rooms needs to be adjusted so the plants inside can grow and thrive. It is actually thanks to this state-of-the-art facility that allows us to grow pretty much any plant from pretty much anywhere on the face of planet Earth. It's also the home of our 12,000 square foot orchidarium where we grow orchids and orchid-like plants. So if you come by sometime during the winter to see our orchid show, just know that about 1/3 of all of those flowers started their lives right over there on the left-hand side of the road. I'm coming to a gentle stop for just a moment here as we're coming up to the tightest turn that we have on the tour here. I need to get us across this little bridge over here on the right-hand side. So it's very important everyone keep their body parts in the tram as we go over. Everyone ready to go back there?
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody. Go ahead and stay in your seats. There's going to be a little bump as we get onto the bridge.
We're gonna cross the bridge.
So the structure that we are hopping onto right now is called a weir, spelled like W-E-I-R. And a weir is basically a small dam that separates two bodies of water from each other. On the right-hand side, we have the Chicago Botanic Garden system of rivers and lakes. Meanwhile, off to the left is the source of all of that water. On the left-hand side, you can see the Skokie River system. This is a wonderful place to come and check out all the local wildlife we have in and around Northeast Illinois. You can see blue herons hunting for stuff to eat out here. There are even ospreys and red-tailed hawks that come and try to catch fish in the water. We even have soft-shell snapping turtles and red-painted box turtles that you can see trying to cross the river sometimes. Just a couple of weeks ago, somebody actually saw an osprey swoop down, catch a fish, and then fly away with it. As we make our way across the weir, we are now entering the Dixon Prairie area, which is home to 6 subcategories of prairie systems, the first of which we are driving through right now. This is a bur oak savanna, so named because of the bur oak trees we have growing on either side of the street. You might be wondering why these trees are able to grow in the prairie while other species of trees cannot. And that is because the bur oak is fire resistant. Fire is a very important part of a prairie's life cycle. It helps burn away the taller plants, makes room for the shorter ones to grow, and helps fertilize the soil beneath them. It also has the added habit of getting rid of any other species of trees that try to grow out here by burning away their seeds and saplings, but not the bur oak. The bur oak has such a thick and cork-like bark that it can resist fire and heat and grow tall while other species of trees get burned away. Meanwhile, over here on the right-hand side, across the water, you'll be able to see Marsh Island, which is home to a second subcategory of prairie system. That is home to our wet prairie, and it's full of native water-loving plants very similar to the ones we just saw over in Rainwater Glen just a moment ago. After a rainstorm, the entire island is actually filled with puddles of standing water, and those puddles of water get soaked up within a matter of hours because of the thirst that we have from all these plants growing on it. Meanwhile, off to the left-hand side, we have a great example of an environment that gave Illinois its nickname of Prairie State. We are now passing by a tall grass prairie. And this is an example. And actually, back before Illinois was developed into the state we know today, more than 60% of the entire state of Illinois was covered in grassland just like this on the left-hand side. That's more than 20 million acres of land. And when we say tall grass prairie, we really mean it. Each one of these grasses come late summer will be between 6 and 8 feet high. And the roots will grow even deeper into the ground, between 10 to 12 feet down into the soil. Today, sadly, due to climate change, agricultural needs, and urbanization, less than 0.1% of the tall grass prairie still remains in the prairie state. That's less than 2,500 acres. We've done what we can to recreate the environment here, not just to remind us what Illinois used to look like many years ago, but also to help encourage biodiversity, as a tall grass prairie is almost as biodiverse as the Amazon River Basin. Meanwhile, across the street from the tall grass prairie, on these hillsides, you actually have a 2-for-1 special. You have 2 prairie subcategories sitting on top of each other. At the base of these hills, you will find a fen prairie, characterized by plants that are a little bit taller but thinner in their stem. They need more rainwater to survive, they like that water to be more alkaline, and they don't like being directly in the hot sun as much. Meanwhile, by comparison, at the tops of these hills, you will find a gravel hill prairie. These are plants that are typically shorter, like being directly in the hot sun, don't need as much water to live, and they have very thick, stocky stems. So depending upon how high or how low you are on these hillsides, you might find yourself in one of 2 unique prairie environments. No matter where you choose to go in these prairies, though, you'll be able to find wonderful examples of the prairie wildflowers we have growing out here, from our sunflowers, which are sprouting up here, to the black-eyed Susans that we have growing in here in the grasses. These little white flowers that we have growing out here are cornflowers, and you'll find them dotted amongst the red cardinal flowers and the purple clovers we have growing out here as well. This is also the second stop that we're going to have along our tour today.
Look at this.
If anyone wishes to hop out and explore the grassland, it is now safe to do so.